guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are talking about what people don't really understand about preppers. The whole prepping thing seemed to be kicking off in the news again recently. It happened the same time last year, I think, since we had all this panicky thing about the electricity. A lot of articles coming up and calling people, you know, preppers, the doomsday preppers, we're all this and we're all that. And there was a lot of negativity around about the prepping, the whole prepping community. Look in the news now, there's quite a lot bit more again of the prepping articles. Some of them are good ones, some of them are bad ones, and some still thinking that all the preppers are, you know, sort of doom and gloom preppers. They just sort of prep for the end of the world. So I thought it'd be kind of a good idea just to put the video out there, and it's probably going to be my opinion and from my view of prepping, to actually explain to people that we're not all just literally sort of doom and gloom preppers. Prepping as a word means so much more than preparing for the end of the world. So without further ado, let's cover the list. So number one, okay, we're not all preparing for the end of the world. I know for some reason, and I think since the Doomsday Preppers program came out like years ago, for some reason people associate preppers with the end of the world, prepping, and it's not something that many of us prepare for, because let's be fair, you cannot really prepare for the end of the world. We can prepare for the end of the world as we know it, when there's going to be potentially massive changes happening, or some people believe there could be a societal collapse. Absolutely. You know, it could meteor can hit the planet, but you cannot prepare for that if we're going to be all wiped out. So the point is, no, not all preppers are doomsday preppers. As myself, generally, as I said before, the prepping is a way of life, and all it is just meaning that we're just safeguarding our families from things that could possibly happen. That could be literally as simple as just the price increases. If you follow the channel, or if you don't, just have a look at the prices for the last year. Many things, and especially food prices, increased, some of them by 100%. So the ability of being able to sort of have some food stocked in your pantry or in your house, that means we're kind of safeguarding ourselves for those price increases. At the same time, things like natural disasters, the earthquakes, anything else where potentially, or disruption in, you know, delivery routes. We're talking about things that are currently going on in the world. Many things can happen, and if we haven't learned from the past about the Brexit and COVID, there have been shortages, have been issues. So this is kind of things majority is an average preppers are preparing for. So yes, to finalize, to say, guys, am I preparing for the end of the world? No, I'm just preparing and have an ability to cater for my family in case something happens. And this something could be absolutely anything. It could be as simple as a loss of a job. So there we have it. So this is number one. So number two, we're not all conspiracy theorists. Absolutely. I know, again, the prepping goes and people associate us that we're all conspiracy theorists. We're not. Sorry, the light's just gone out. We're not all conspiracy theorists. We have, as a prepping, as it goes, again, I'm going to be talking on my own behalf. I choose to read the news, evaluate them myself, and read them from more than one source, and then make my own decisions. There is plenty of information available on the government websites, WHO. There's information everywhere to tell you what it is happening. So this will be my prerogative to make an assumption of what I think potentially could be happening and prepare for that. I don't specifically go on, especially certainly not going on my channel and talk about conspiring what is happening. I have my opinion what's happening and why is it happening, but I certainly wouldn't call myself a conspiracy theorist. And this is the same goes for many other preppers. Again, just because we're preparing and potentially following the news and following what's happening in the world doesn't make us a conspiracy theorist. So next thing, prepping is proactive approach for uncertainties, and it all is driven by desire to be self-sufficient or self-reliant, and then not driven by fear. I know, again, I hear many people say, oh my God, the preppers are doing this out of fear. No, I'm not fearing. I probably not say most fearless preppers probably fear less than an average person, because we know we have some preps behind our belt. And again, it's not fear. We're not scared of what it is happening. We just prepare for things that can happen. Next thing is, again, guys, people think that preppers are hoarders of food and items. There's a massive difference, and I did cover this in a different video, guys. Hoarding or stocking up and rotating your stock is a different matter. Hoarding the items is when you just blindlessly just go and buy yourself, say, 50 kilos of rice and you don't even eat it or know how to cook it, okay, or spending money on something else that you don't even know how to use. That's one thing. Stocking up is when you have a pantry like people did old days, and you have everything that you want or your family need. You build your pantry over the time, and then next time you go shopping, you buy something and you take the latest item off the shelf and you put another one on the shelf instead of it. So you're basically rotating your stock. So very, very important to understand that no, the preppers are not hoarders, or certainly I'm not a hoarder, but I just like to have a stock of things ready for when my family needs it. So if suddenly we're not able to get to the supermarket for the next couple of weeks, then we'll be absolutely fine because I have my little stockpile of my food ready to go. Next thing, guys, again, the stocking up, okay, it's not a main purpose of a prepper's journey, if that makes sense. Of course, guys, stocking up on food and preps, any other items you might need, it is absolutely a necessity and is a big part of the prepping. However, it's also important to understand that as a preppers, our aim is to again, I'll use my sponge example, I like to absorb things as a sponge. I want to learn things. And I think us as a prepper, genuine preppers, that we always look for the ways of better ourselves, how we're doing things, and actually learn how to do certain things, that we're not actually reliant on the current system. For example, things, guys, like learning to say forage, learning how to make the herbal medicine, learning how to grow your own food, learning how to say raise chickens, or things that you're able to do within your space. This is what takes a big priority of a prepper's mind. Yes, once again, food is super, super important, but the ability to survive and then gather food, grow your own food, is so much more important than just stockpiling stuff you don't need. So there we have it. Another thing which is kind of a bit not so comical, there are a lot of people generally, whether it be your friends or family, might not agree with the whole prepping thing. But that's fine, okay? As I mentioned before, I did the video, we have a different mindset, preppers have a different mindset. And if people or family don't agree, that's fine. And the fact is that the majority of preppers, we just don't care. If that's something that you don't share the views and opinions of what we do, then that's fine. But we just don't care. This is how it goes. And the last point, again, it's a slightly small one, but we are just normal people, okay? And it's kind of a bit frustrating sometimes when you read again in the articles and they're sort of slating the preppers, their coverness, and they're sort of a weird blankets that we're all the same, or we're something, like we're sitting in our bunkers underneath somewhere and just, listening to the weird frequency radios looking for aliens. It just doesn't happen. We're just normal people majority of the time. I'm a working mum, I have a kid, I have a house, I have a garden, I do things, but I'm just a normal person. Just have a different mindset. But this sort of mindset, again, prepping mindset, but once more wanted to point out that this prepping mindset was in our ancestors during a war and during other times, guys, all the time. It's just because they worded it as a prepper, it's kind of became a thing. But generally, it's just prepping, something that our people in the past did just to safeguard the family. Things like basic things of preserving your harvest from the summer for the winter by learning how to do the pressure canning or pickling or doing jams. This is called prepping. This is now called prepping, but those days it was just how people lived their life, because it was really, really important not to rely on anything else but what you have and ability to preserve what you get. So there we have it. This is kind of very, very simple. So I do hope, guys, that you kind of enjoy this video. Hopefully might let people look at the whole prepping thing with a little bit different onset maybe, and don't sort of brush all of us certainly with the same brush, because unfortunately we're not all the same. Just people, just different. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.